Such a nice tank. I like a 20 long. Gives plenty of room for the little itty bitty guppies to go all the way from left to right, right to left. Gives plenty of space for zoomies and stuff. It's not terribly tall because it's guppies. Guppies don't need much. But this is the tank that we're here for. This here top fin bow front 5 gallon has finally come up time to be rebuilt. So this is going to be the second video of the channel. We're going to reset this bad bitty right here so that I can hopefully get my shrimps in a slightly better situation. I tried the nano tank thing and I love my nano tank, but I'm going to have to do it another day with a different, filter setup. I'm going to have to get some other stuff to make it work, but for now, this here bow front is going to be what it is. But a little bit more of the guppy females. See that little one right there in the top in the middle? It's got that like blue on the tail. Doesn't look blue with the light on the camera, but man, they're so pretty. And here we are at the nano tank. So as you can see, it's a really nice glass bowl. I don't know if I can see it, but if you look, it says Planters. It's planters. It's actually an old Planters jar, but as you can see, my little Amano buddies are in there floating around doing their thingy thing. Well, we tested the water parameters last night, and our nitrates are pretty high, and I'm going to be honest, I started this tank up because I know shrimp are fairly sensitive to water quality changes, extreme water quality changes, and I have well water here, so again, my pH is incredibly high. So with these little guys coming from a pet store, and it's a good pet store, so they have nice quality water, they spend lots of time on their tanks trying to make sure that everything's super clean and crystal clear and just where it needs to be, and their nitrates in their tanks are high because of their plants. Now I don't have as many plants, so I don't need quite as high a nitrate content, so I'm shooting for more of a 5 ppm range. This is more of a 10 to 15, almost 20 ppm range, and that can be kind of high for a fish if it's a fish that hasn't been in this environment for a long time. You'll learn it's more about water parameter stability than it is about a specific pH or a specific hardness or a specific whatever. You want stability. So I took all of the different water packs that I'd gotten from that place and I put them all into this here little tank so that I could have them their own, little ecosystem, I guess, so to speak, with the water that they were originally coming in, so that I didn't have to worry about them, having any real issue. And what I've been doing is I've slowly been bringing the water level down to about here across the tank and filling it back up with my water so that I can just slowly introduce them to the higher pH. And I've been doing, just that little bit off the top, I don't know, once or twice a day for the last 3 days now, and I'm going to keep doing it a few more times before they go into that bow front. But this, I just wanted you to see what we were working with before we got into that bow front so that you can, basically see what we're setting up for them. Alright, so we're back here at the bow front, and I just wanted to point out that there's not much to disconnect for me. I've got a light, which should be this one. Yep, there's a little plug. Unplug that and just lay that down. I'm going to take the lid, single cheap LED, I'm going to sit that there. Now, I'm not a big fan of this filter style, but this was a kit box. Being that this was a kit box, it came with a filter and everything meant for this particular system to work, and I wound up not really caring much for the bow front just because the bow front has this bow front and it will kind of sort of magnify weird things. But next I want to take my air hose loose. Now you can see I ain't got no more air bubbles popping up, which is perfect. See, air bubbles? No air bubbles. Air bubbles? No air bubbles. What are my bubbles? Now I can just take this, lift this up and out. I'm going to sit this over top on this lid. I'm probably going to reuse that, but I have actually had where I had my air stone all the way down in the bottom of a tank, and while it was down in the bottom of the tank, not connected to anything, it started working like a drain, and I was very, very, very unhappy about that. Next thing, obviously you see the heater. I'm not going to disconnect the heater. I'm just going to pick it up and move it over to this tank right here. And just stick it next to the wall. Believe it or not, when I first started this tank, I was actually using the cycled water and other cycled materials out of the filter up inside of here to get the biofilter established. And I gotta say, it worked pretty good. This water's been nicely cycled for quite a bit. Next thing, we gotta go ahead and pull out our... And of course, this is where that, you know, plug management comes in, which I am obviously terrible at. Oh, I dropped my air pump. There we go. We'll bring the air pump back up. Oh, the other air hose fell off. Okay. Okay. See, I got a check valve on this one, so I don't have to worry about it doing its thing quite as bad. Alright. Okay. Well, sorry for the horrific camera angle. And this should just lift right on up and out, just like so. I'll let that run off. Again, I don't want to lose any of this water. I mean, any of the bacteria. So I'm going to be very careful not to lose any of that. But now, the tank is loose. So I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to move to another room with better lighting. This was just something to throw together to show you I'm tearing it apart to bring it out. So I'll be back when this thing is better set up. Alright, so still not great lighting, so we're gonna hit that with the flashlight. Alright, so we're just pulling stuff out right now. Well, yeah, Mr. Anubius has had better days. Well, that doesn't look too bad if we're looking real close. Fresh tubules, those leaves actually look incredibly green. It looked like it was just a couple of old ones. That's okay. We're going to drop that down in here where we know that there is some cycled water. And the only reason I keep saying cycled water is because there's a nitrate content. The nitrate content is what goes for the plants. Here, we're going to back up just a touch. I'm going to set you right there for just a second so I can get this started. But basically, I'm going to try and drain off a bunch of the water. I'm going to try and get what I can for the mess in the bottom as well. Come on, guy, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna go around and do. Now, with me resetting this, there's not really a whole lot I can do to try and preserve much of anything. I'm not gonna put any hot water in here. I'm not gonna go scrubbing to get rid of this water or any of this stuff. I'm just gonna do what I can to get the last little bits of it cleaned up and get as much of the junk out as I can. And then most of this substrate's actually going to come out, and I'm going to put this into something else another day. I'm starting to lose my taste for the bright colored. You can see we've got black in the bottom of this one. You can see my little dark water local tank. We've got aqua soil in it. We can scroll around here and we can see I've got the colored speckled shit in there. You can see this one, I've got aqua soil. This is one of my favorites. Look at the little guys. They're so nice. See, it's another Planters one. I love these tanks. And they're not tanks, they're just things I found. I gotta wipe all that nastiness down. I have lots of air bubbles, so I get lots of hard water thanks to the well water. Yeah, vaping. It's a great habit. So, we're getting there. I'm going to have to do this again. There's not quite another 2.5 gallons worth of room in there. But anyway, I'm gonna come back once I've got the rest of the water drained off, and then we're going to go ahead and start talking about, you know, moving stuff over and doing this and that. I have another thing of aqua soil. I don't know anything about the brand. I know this one here is actual aqua soil from Fluval. I have aqua soil bags in this one from Fluval, and then the aqua soil that's in this one actually came out of that bag I just had in my hand. So this is going to end up with some aqua soil in it, so that the shrimp can go in and hopefully immediately start to have a good time. So we'll be back in a bit when we're ready to start moving stuff around. Alright, and we're back. That was just a second for you guys, right? Hopefully not too long. Get some light going. Alright, so now we are, again, I didn't really do too much to clean this. I didn't put any soap or anything in it. I didn't put any rubbing alcohol on it. I put a little bit of Windex on a rag and then wiped the outside. I did not get anywhere near the rim or the lid. You want to be very careful with that stuff. But this is basically it. So now I was just kind of looking, do I want to try and use a giant sponge filter and see if there's a way for me to like stuff that over in the corner and maybe make something work. I think that might be alright. So we're going to come back over here. We're going to go ahead and grab this here piece of driftwood because I like this piece of driftwood in this tank. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to bring that all the way forward. Okay, alright. Of course, I'm going to have to put some stuff in there, but, you know, ideally what's going to happen is this thing is going to sit more akin to this versus up like that, down like that, and there will be a little something underneath the front to hide it. And then I think I got a rock. Let's go walking through the house, Look at my gross floors. Yeah. So we're going to grab this one. Of course, I've already boiled these, and these are very, very basic rocks. These are, I think they call them riprap. This is usually what they'll put outside, like a drain for a ditch or some kind of underground thing. It's very common. It's not pretty at all, but I think on a plastic bottom tank. Oh, look at the kitty underneath of us. Mr. Nope, that's too loose. It's not Oliver, it's too loose. So we're going to sit that right in there like so. And then we're going to sit this one something like this. And we're going to sit down and look. My lighting is terrible, so it's not as easy for me to get you guys to see what I'm seeing, but I don't really see another place for this rock to go. So I guess this is just going to be a 2-rock kind of thing. But I think I'm going to stick with that right there. I don't know that I want to run a water filter. I'm going to run the water filter that comes with this for a little while because it's nice and cycled and has plenty of beneficial bacteria built up in it. So I am going to run the regular filter until it seems like this filter here has started to do its thing. But yeah, let's get some dirt in it. Okay, so again, I'm going to show you the bag of soil. Aquarium substrate, premium soil, some Chinese or Japanese, probably Japanese if I'm honest. I'm not real sure. I can't read it. I do have Google Lens if I really wanted to, but I don't, so I don't. Now, I'm going to pour most of this into the front side, and I'm just going to get it started. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm just going to get a really nice healthy layer on the bottom. It's probably going to wind up being the entire bag, and that's okay because this stuff's pretty affordable, but you want to get plenty all over the place. You want to have lots of availability and material so that you can like push this stuff around and kind of make it work. So I'm just going to, yeah, I'm putting the whole bag in here. We're just going to put the whole bag in there. Ooh. Whole bag. Alright, now there's still a little left in it. Yep. Okay. Alright, so that's soil in. What are we looking at? A big old pile of it. So I want to get a bunch of soil up around that corner in the back. So I'm just going to stuff that back in there. Push all this stuff on the top of the filter that fell on the filter back in the back. But I just want to make sure that there's a nice layer of soil everywhere. So I'm going to pick some up and we'll put it towards the back. The idea is I don't want many open spaces for bad bacteria to build up. So I'm trying my best to get everything locked in. Heck yeah, that's pretty good. Just want to get as much of this in there. Get it below the rock so that there's not a whole lot of dirt getting up behind the rock. Alright. Man, I love this stuff. Just make sure you get it real nice and leveled off if you want, or build it up towards the back to add depth. Hey, alright, now let's put this wood back down in here, like so. Alright, look at that. I know it's hard to tell. Go ahead and push this stuff up around the edge and smooth it out. It'll be nice once I can clean all the dirt off the sides of the wall. But I want this stuff pretty thick so that I can plant in it. The idea is to have the shrimp tank eventually be my seed tank for a mono shrimp, where they're going to go ahead and just start going nuts and breeding. Because, man, look at how pretty those guys are. I just love these little dudes. Looks like one of them already molted. That's cool. Anyway, back to this tank. Okay, so I've got the filter in it. Yeah, I got the filter in it. So I think what we do now is we probably go ahead and start filling some water. Try and see what it's gonna settle like. Yeah, I think this will do. Besides, once I get some plants in there, it'll be great. Like, real great. Alright, I'm gonna make a cut. Alright, so we're back. And you can see we are filled back up with water. So, I'm gonna have to wait for the heater to finish heating the tank, get the temperatures right. I ended up adding the third rock on top of the sponge filter. Hopefully when that thing finally water soaks, it'll sink and it'll stay sunk. And I won't have to worry about trying to figure out any kind of funky ways to get it to stick down, because my idea is I want to get rid of this top filter so that it's just open across the top. And then I want to fill in plants, you know, in and around and behind the rocks and this wood here, so that it'll be a perfect, safe feeling habitat for my shrimp. I really want these shrimp to survive and breed. I don't just want shrimp so that they can do their thing and live and be pretty. I want to breed these guys, and I want to get them spread across all of my other tanks. And so this is step one to getting the shrimp enclosure done. So this is going to be a pretty quick, short video. Obviously, the camera skills were terrible. I'm sorry. But, you know, we're going to end here just kind of looking back and seeing what it looks like. Even just now, you know, it's still cloudy from me stirring everything up. It's got to resettle. I've got to redistribute some of the gravel to make it look a little more seamless, because I don't want the gravel building up above the edges of the stuff that I've put in there. I want it all to be seamless so that the shrimp have places to hide in the plants, not in the substrate. I want the shrimp to be able to get to the substrate, of course, but I don't want to get the shrimp in here and then have them disappear. You know, I want to fill things in a way that they can't really get away from me, so that I can keep regular check on them. I want to keep a close eye on them and monitor how they grow and how they breed, and just, you know, do the best I can to give them a great environment. And I feel like setting up a tank, even if it's a quick thing like I just did, you know, 3 rocks, a piece of driftwood with some Nubius, it's not really a complicated thing, because I don't want this to be one of my beauty tanks that stays out in the living room. I want this to be my shrimp seeding tank, so I can put shrimp in all my pretty tanks. So, on that bombshell, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Obviously, I am terrible at camera work. That's probably not going to change too much, but stick around, and hopefully I can get better about this and get better at this, and have you, my viewers, you know, kind of give me some direction of what kind of camera work you'd like to see, this, that, or the other. But anyway, subscribe, like, comment below, and I hope to see you next time. Everybody, please have a great day, and I look forward to next time. Bye-bye.